Is ECM dead?
Is ECM dead? Of course, it's a tricky question, and I would say a very provocative question, of course.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Enterprise Content Show.
Hello, everyone.
So we're here to explore how organizations are rethinking content, process, and AI in the real world.
Thank you.
And we're asking a slightly dangerous question today. Is ECM dead?
Heard you were dead. Didn't take.
And if so, what's next?
A small question, nothing controversial at all.
Not at all.
Should we check if he's dead?
It's a really interesting one, though, because a lot is changing in the market right now. And it's not just technology, it's how customers actually think about content, systems, and also access to information.
Absolutely, Franziska. And to help us unpack that, we're joined by Robert Jaksch. And Robert brings a really interesting perspective. So interesting that I wore a special shirt for today.
To be honest, this is a pretty cool shirt.
Because Robert sees the space both as a Doxis customer and through a broader consulting engagement with the market in his day job.
And one important note before we start, Robert is joining us today in a personal capacity, sharing his own market perspective and not speaking on behalf of Adesso.
So Robert, please come on stage.
There you are. Hello, welcome.
There he is. How are you doing today, Robert?
I'm great, thank you very much.
Really, really good. So let's just start simply. Like, what are you seeing in the market right now that has made this question of ECM, is ECM dead, feel worth asking?
Oh, thank you, Franzi and William. Is ECM dead? Of course, it's a tricky question, and I would say a very provocative question, of course. And to answer it, I would say let's have a short historic development of ECM. Have a look at it. How was it developed in the last 30, 40 years? You remember that ECM in the 80s started as a pure digital archive. So what you do is you replace your paper archive with limited business values with the digital archive to save space, and that's it, more or less. In the 90s and early 2000, it moved closer to business processes, enabling workflows like invoice handling and approval, and become a real productive enabler. So you can do things with the ECM, or maybe what you called archive before. Later, I would say collaboration came in and cloud expanded came in, and you have managed services and all the stuff that came in. And you have an enterprise-wide information hub. So that is how it is today. But today, I would say, and you maybe gave an introduction to it, you have a fundamental shift. Organizations have used ECM for 10, 20 years or even longer, and into modernizing their IT landscape. So what they do is they're going to break down the monolithic platforms into more modular services, and very important, they put into intelligence. They want to do processes and automation, and the customer wants to consume the content dynamically. So I would like to go inside and say, I have a question, how about the contract with this numbers, how is it going? And they don't want to search, they want to have instant information and maybe just analyzing it about it. So that put, from my point of view, ECM to a crossroad. It can regress into compliant but largely invisible archiving backbones, just in the back, that's it. Or it can happen that it will be used for involving content services, AI-driven, of course, automation, of course. And of course, what could happen, it'd be something in between. So something archiving, a little bit AI, and that's it. Yeah. So coming back to the question, it was very hard. Is ECM dead? No, of course it's not, but it's being fundamentally.
That was already a very interesting answer. So, Roy, do you think when people say ECM today, do you think everyone is still talking about the same thing?
That is a very interesting question. What is ECM at all? I mean, when we talk about it, we all maybe have a different view on ECM as a definition. So coming back to my academic days when I was younger, a little bit younger than yet, I was, doing some seminars, and at the beginning of the seminar, always my professor asked for, what do we understand under this term? Because the problem is when you talk to somebody over an hour or 2 hours or days, but you have different thinking about the terms, then maybe you mislead in definitions. So the outcome is not what you're expecting. So very important is at the beginning to understand what ECM is. So I go to my customer and I ask them, what do you think is an ECM? They will define it to me, and then I will come up with additional terms like document management system. You all know that. It's something, let's call it the small sibling of ECM. That's just archiving, document handling, that's it. Or coming to the more bigger and involving definition like content service platform from Gartner 2016, I think it was defined. And that is more, let's say, this modular service providing system that's coming in. So when I ask them about ECM, what do you think about? We have to define it, and then we will define what they want. So at the end, the term is not so important. It's more important where they want to go. So when customer talks about ECM, as you asked for, Franzi, it's a little bit longer explanation. Normally, the customer do not talk about the same things. It's the same.
Same but different. Yeah.
Love it, Robert. Right, I'm putting my hat on. So,
I like it.
This is the Document Intelligence Company hat, which is official, unofficial swag that I have. So I'm
Very
curious. We've got the definition. When customers are discussing these definitions and thinking in terms of document management or ECM or whatever, are they increasingly trying to solve a different problem? Like, are you seeing a wave of new problems, or is it a wave of changes in how the technology solves old problems?
Good question. So let's say it this way: when you come to the customer, it's depending on who you are talking to.
Who are you?
So what it means is that in a legal or like finance department, you talk about archiving. That's for them, it's important to be compliant. When you talk to business departments, then the most important thing is to have fast retrieval information. So to use the content intelligent, So go ahead and said, I want to ask in a natural language, as I said at the beginning, what are the numbers of my quotation that I have, and what are the contract analysis placing. So at the end, it's when you say how they look at it, the document management, it's depending on who you are talking to. That's my opinion, and both must be done. Let's say it in this way with the document management at all.
And
Cool.
what do you think are the old assumptions behind ECM that no longer really hold up?
Yeah, one of the key outdated assumptions behind ECM is the idea to have a centralized one repository, solve everything, do everything with the one thing. So as I just mentioned, it's more moving to these microservices, to this decentralized part, and having an archiving backbone that's still necessary. When you look at, let's say, the big ERP players like SAP and so on, they still do not offer something like that. They do it with some OEM product, or what they do is implement it with external ECM systems. So this is still necessary, but to have the intelligent part inside, that's most driven, so fast going on, that's needed for ECM to evolve there.
And Robert, do you see this change being driven more by new technologies like AI, which you've mentioned multiple times, or by a customer frustration with the old ways of doing things?
Very short answer on that, both ways.
I'd say that cuts both ways.
It's you need to have this AI technology done, but there's still some frustration on the market. Like, let's say, have one maybe not controllable monolithic system that, and to be honest, the vendors are developing also, so they also have to save costs, and so they're going to maybe have not the best perfect service providing there. So it's a kind of changing frustration, but AI is also very important of both. Go ahead.
So when we speak about modernization, or if you look at the organization, what are they really asking for? You said if you're talking to business areas or business people,
Yep.
they would rather look for better automation or better user experience or faster access to information. Is it more intelligence? Is it more better technology? What do you see as a consultant maybe mostly in the market?
From my point of view, I stated it before, like depending on who you are talking to, but I think the intelligence, having insight of the content is the most important part it's driving at the moment. Of course, the user experience, not interesting. It sounds hard, but at the end, it's something like, I don't care if you have a fancy front end that you can do fast things. No, what you want to do is, I'm gonna ask, even, like with normal voice, my AI, can you give me this? Can you give me that? And that's it. It doesn't matter anymore if you have a very good user experience with the front end, but it's very important to have the information that you needed at that time really fast and for you to use. That's most driven, I would say.
I do disagree with that.
That's my point of view.
Oh, disagreement.
I do think the user experience is absolutely important, and the interface you're like interacting with on a daily basis, also in a way that AI is displaying search result list or answers to your questions to you matters. And that is my personal perspective and opinion, but I also do see the happy faces if we turn on the web cube and they see how like the insights feature, for example, works and you chat with Doxis and the results came back. And so I do think that makes a difference for enterprise applications in this time. It has dramatically changed over the past 10, 15 years, I would say. 10 years ago, I totally agreed. But now I do see that like people working with Apple and Mac all the time and are being used to apps, nice UIs. I think that has an impact.
Yeah, okay. So I agree partly to that, but only partly, because when I talk to customers, they say to me from a management point of view, I don't care how the front end is. To be honest, what they want to do is that they want to have their processes automated, and they want to have fast information. Of course, what I really agree to you is to say, okay, I want to have a front end where I can easily access this. Yes. So yeah, but maybe, to be honest, it's not maybe the most important thing to have a chatbot on my front end so I can ask him things. For me, it's important that I have one true single point where I can ask all this stuff. Could be Doxy, of course. Would be nice for you, of course. But at the end, it could be also something else, to be honest, from my point of view. And that's what the management stated to me. At the end, they want to have automated processes, even if it's just in the back end, it's just fine for them. They want to work in office, and if this is fine, then it's fine. So that's my point of view.
Yeah, I agree. It does not have to be the one or the other.
Absolutely, but just to say that when I ask to the management, they say to me it's a nice to have. And this is even when you ask about evolving ECM. As I said, most important thing, compliance archiving, very important. Have content available, but then they do not say no processes, no metadata extraction, no seeing like an e-file, something like that. But it's more like a nice to have. You know what I mean? When they need it, they want to use it. But if they don't need it, they say, okay, I don't need it anymore. That's my opinion.
Sounds good. If the classic model is under pressure, what comes next, Robert? Is it still ECM with new capabilities, or does the whole category need rethinking? What's your perspective?
I think the follows a simple truth. As the German saying goes, nothing is as constant as change. Yeah, so in German we would say, nichts ist so konstant wie der Wandel. This applies also for the ECM, of course. So that means the category, of course, must be rethinked from my point of view. So what we still have the classic archiving, as I said before, but most important on this, we have the AI topic and the content service providing part. So we're going more like a platform and process automation. So the category must be rethinked from my point of view, having ECM intelligent and have it as an archive. So something in between that.
And when you look across the market, what separates the genuinely forward-looking approaches from the AI buzzword versions?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, at the end, you have to really go deep inside and think about what you can do with AI and what was really the use case behind it. But to differentiate it, from my point of view, it will be like if it's forward-looking strategy, then really you create outcomes. Yeah, so it means I'm gonna have my content and I'm gonna ask questions, as I said at the beginning, and get some value coming out that I can really fast need it and even have fast retrieval of information. Also, maybe next things that I would not think about it. And the buzzword strategy is more like, oh, getting attention. Look, we can do AI a little bit, but it's not really deep thinking like how to integrate it, how to use it, and what is the best thing for even different branches, how to use it.
Super thoughtful. Love it. Thank you, Robert. Okay, so now it's time for Doxis Like It's Hot.
Sure.
Doxis Like It's Hot. Doxis Like It's Hot.
It's a quick fire edition, so short answers. First instinct, no overthinking.
Yeah. Okay.
So we say what we say, and then you give us a super quick answer.
We believe in you. You can do it. So let's see how disciplined you are.
Okay, so ECM is dead. Yes, no, or too dramatic?
That's a little dramatic.
Too dramatic, of course. At the beginning, ECM archiving and have content services, still you need it.
Next one. One word you think will matter more than management in the future of ECM?
Intelligence.
Ooh, intelligence. I've got it somewhere on my hat. Thank you. So, Robert, what matters more now? Storing information or surfacing it?
Same as I said at the beginning, must be both. So storing needs still, from a compliant point of view, the law says so, but you also need this surfacing it.
Next one. Biggest thing customers are no longer willing to tolerate?
Good question. Something different than AI and automation, I would say bad services. Means the customer expected good and fast results from the vendor.
Oh, hello. Happy holidays.
These are great results, great answers, Robert. So my next question for you is, what's more dangerous right now? Moving too slowly or adopting AI too blindly?
Adopting AI too blindly, from my point of view. I think it's something in between again. It's something like thinking AI smart. So it means, use it, have it, but don't use it for everything and just believe everything inside. And data privacy, of course.
Don't believe everything you read.
Very smart.
Like
one phrase in this market you would happily retire forever?
That's how we have always done it. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Never change running system.
That's it. So it's always changed.
I feel like you both have some stories for that one. Okay. So my turn again. Repository, assistant, platform, or layer, what best describes the future?
Yes, again, we come to the semantic point of view, but from my point of view, it will be platform.
What will customers care more about in 3 years? Where content lives or what content can do?
Or what content can do, I would say. It's again, coming to the point, we need where it lives, because then you have the archiving, historical point and law part, but also the what can you do with it? It's getting value, business value from it. That's most important.
This is great, Robert. So you're on to your last Doxis Like It's Hot question. If we had you back in 2 years' time, it's probably going to be before that, we'll get you back sooner. But if it was in 2 years' time, what do you think we would be calling this space instead of ECM?
Good question. I would probably call it IECM, so Intelligence Enterprise Content Management. I think this I would come in very fast.
Love it. We're big fans of the intelligence word here at Doxis, so happy to hear this.
Yeah, that's the future. That's really coming up.
Thank you, Robert. That was a really fun conversation, and I think very timely too. You were disciplined enough to come up with short answers most of the time in your rapid fire. Thank you for that.
Really, really interesting perspectives, and good to talk about the big elephant in the room So provocative, but also real. And from your perspective and others, we know customers are definitely rethinking what they need and evolving their approaches.
Thank you very much from you both to having me in the podcast.
Thank you for
being
joining
with
us.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. And if this episode sparked a strong opinion in you, whether ECM is ending, evolving, or simply overdue a name change, we'd love to hear it, wouldn't we, Franzi?
Of course, definitely. And I think it's always good to see the same topic from a different perspective, as we've seen Robert's perspective today, and also the shift I think we've all seen in the market on how document management ECM is going to help people in their, how they work with documents, how they actually use information faster, smarter, and in a way that fits how people actually work now. And I think that is the most important thing. More important than how we actually name it, rather than what the added value is.
That's it.
Very good. Robert, always good value. Thank you for joining us.
Sure. Welcome. It was very nice.
This is the end of the Enterprise Content Show. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening.
Have a good time. Bye-bye.
Oh, another good conversation, Franzi. Did you enjoy that one?
Definitely, of course, like always. Always good to see our guests.
Absolutely. And Robert had some good perspectives. I like that he challenges the industry. I like that he's got a provocative point of view. Like, no one wants to drink the Kool-Aid all day, every day. Like, the future requires change, right?
Yes, of course. And he had some very valid points. If you see how the market evolved from pure archiving, he said, like, we do the microservices, backbone archiving again. I do have a bit of a different opinion in some parts of that, because I do think you can only really use the document intelligence if you do store the documents in one system. But it was a very fair approach that he shared, and definitely worth talking about.
Nice. And how jealous of my hat are you, or my...
Jealous?
Jealous. Where can I get one? Is that the unofficial lounge?
I will find out if there's one available for you. So thank you to all of our listeners, viewers. Please do like, subscribe, comment. We would love to hear from you. And thank you for spending some time with us again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.